We got another another one of these bangers. All right, we got ourselves a shadow training today, gang. So if you are new around these parts, what that basically entails is I am the guardian angel that will follow my student as they traverse through the jungles of Street Fighter 6 ranked. I am here to guide all of you guys to become the highest versions of yourself. That way, every drive rush goes checked. Every DI is countered. Every button that is whiffed is punished. That is what the mission is for moi. All right, so of course, YouTubers that are checking this out, appreciate you guys. Appreciate your time, your viewership. Go ahead and hit that nice little thumbs up on the video. Turn your, I think this, what is it, the post notifications, the bell. Hit that bell, that little cowbell. I don't think it makes a sound, but if you hit it, you'll know next time I post. And of course, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I guess let's get this show on the road, eh? Howdy, partner.
Yep. Howdy, brother.
Howdy, partner. How good was it, my friend?
It was a little hectic today, a little weird. Schedule was a lot of work, no work, then housework.
And then cook work.
Yep.
Hey, I dig it, I dig it, I dig it. So go on ahead and share that screen, cowboy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, I have these following 5 questions. Hopefully, they won't get too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 might, because we talked about that during Combo Breaker.
Okay.
But, so number 1, like continuing from the Sub Sunday replay, it feels exceptionally hard / borderline impossible to reduce the amount of options being put on screen. We kind of went over that replay and we went around, we saw like what was actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
But how would I minimize the danger? Like, let's say I get a knockdown, for example. How do I minimize the danger against, say, that jury player?
Okay. So minimizing danger, the easiest way to do it is to keep things tight. So you have to know your meaties. You have to know your meaties. You have to know your frame traps that will be a 3-frame gap or less. So that way they can't mash a jab. Okay.
Right.
And then, ironically, what the third element is to accept being wrong, because the second you try to be perfect, you don't play with conviction, you don't play with speed and authority, and then you waver on your offense. So then you don't play with that tightness because you start to second guess shit.
Gotcha.
So you have to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I don't care if you DP me, because you gotta remember, everything that they do gives you information.
Right? Yeah.
So if you hit somebody meaty, the only thing they can do, like actively against it, is parry it or a reversal. Either it's drive reversal, an invincible attack, a super. That's it. They can't really do anything else actively. Passively, they block it. Right?
Right.
If they try to actively counter it with backdash jump, they get hit grounded and you combo because they're not airborne. So you literally subtract that. You don't even have to think about it.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So the danger is like, honestly, what I would focus on is not the danger of the opponent, but what do you do that puts you in danger? That's what you need to focus on, because remember, the player changes. Every character, every player, it's a different matchup every single time you go into ranked, right? But the one constant is you. So if you're having the same problems, then that means that you are also the source of those problems.
And that makes sense.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what I would do is reclaim your power and instead focus on what dangers do you present in your behaviors that cause shit to all of a sudden go chaotic. And it's the stuff I talked about in the Sub Sunday stream. It's you playing on your heels, playing back with your back against the ropes, and then letting them dictate. But then remember, when you lost the first round, the second round you were like mad aggressive, and you took 28% of his health off just from hitting him, not even doing combos.
Yep.
So I think that's how I would answer number 1. How do you feel about that?
I think I get that. I think that makes sense. I think the one thing that I would try to get your feedback on is when we play, when you watch me play, I would like to know what you think I should do on back rise, because although that gives me a lot of space and that'll like take them somewhat to the corner, it's that kind of murky area where I have them close to the corner, but I don't really get traditional. I take my turn. I'm on your knockdown body. I do my meaty. That's the kind of like an ambiguous area, and I kind of want to know what you feel about that after you watch me either make it happen or fucking up.
Oh, okay, so basically you want me to focus on the Oki scenarios where your opponent's back rise and you don't really know how to maintain pressure, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll look out for that. As soon as I see it, because I don't know exactly what Oki you're talking about, I'll just go into training mode and we'll figure it out.
Gotcha. Because basically, whenever they get up backwards, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to that when it comes.
Mm-hmm.
So number 2, because I want to get your feedback on this. I cannot get EXDP to come out in a lot of circumstances, so I'll get counter hit. Like I'll say, okay, I want to DP here. And if they block it, whatever. I'm choosing to DP here, and if I lose, whatever. But the thing is, I'll get counter hit sometimes. And I'm like, I wanted a DP. I wanted to at least have control of how I lost. And I'm getting beat out of my frame 1 invincible reversal. What gives?
You know what's happening is because you know how it's down input? It's probably happening. Because it was happening to me when I was playing Chun yesterday, is when you go down and go to neutral, you have to go to down again, but you're probably pressing the button before you hit the down the second time.
Oh, that might be it. Like if we look back at a replay, because I could see it happening. I don't know if it actually happens, but what I could be doing is I'll do down, and then I'll try to do down and then double kick buttons simultaneously. But the double kick buttons will come out before the down actually presses all the way.
Yes, I think it's probably that, because that was what I noticed when I was playing. I was like, I'm not used to this input, and it's obvious because I'm getting counter hit. And I was like, so obviously I'm getting a standard button, but my character is also standing. So I was like, okay, so I'm pressing the button before the second down, because if I pressed it and got hit crouching, then I would have been like, okay, well, I pressed the button late because I'm crouching, obviously, right? So if I'm getting hit crouching, I'm holding down, but my button didn't come out, and I should have been invincible and hit them out of there jumping, because it's frame 1, right? Air invulnerable. So the fact that I got hit crouching means I'm pressing the button late. But if I'm getting hit standing, that means I'm actually pressing the button too early.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking back, I'll cross out question 4. I don't really like question 4 right now, because we can fix that. That was basically just saying, I guess there's like a mental thing that I have where MR might not matter, but I'm also not doing well in placements and tournaments either. So basically, it's just kind of like ranked might not be the place to show my stuff, but when I try to do it in bracket, it's also not working there. So there's a problem with me.
Okay.
So like whenever, I want to keep it that one short, because I don't really like that, like being hard on that, but it's just like I hear I'm doing good, I'm doing well, and then it's just like, fine, I'm crappy at rank, but I would like to also do a little bit better in tournaments.
Okay. Yeah. So the difference between ranked and like an actual tournament, right, is the stakes. It's the perception that you give to one over the other, right?
Right.
It's and because of the significance you give to one over the other, what ends up happening is now you are stripping away mental resources, focus that would be invested into performance in the moment. Okay, so what you basically have to do to overcome that is you have to do 2 things. 1, you get experience, right? That's like Experience is the best teacher. You're gonna get small victories compounded over time, and it's gonna teach you, oh, okay, I am capable of doing this. Oh, this is not as scary as I thought. Or, you know, you see the little metrics of or measures of progress within your performance and say, damn, I'm actually really proud I was able to do this under a high pressure situation, right? And that positive reinforcement will now allow you to not put too much emphasis on your performance, because you know that you're capable of at least doing these things bare minimum. You might focus on other things, right, where you're like, well, I'm really good at whiff punishing, but I'm really bad at anti-airing under pressure, right? So then ironically what happens is, I learned this in the book called The Inner Game of Tennis. Your conscious mind will interrupt your subconscious mind's learning because of strong desires, which are basically rooted in your ego. Right? We all have an ego. We have to have an ego. You're a fucking human, right? So your ego will cling on to and strongly desire a specific outcome. So let's say I want to be able to do this in tournament, and then because you keep on interrupting the subconscious mind, which actually you have to get out of its way to allow it to perform. You have to shut your conscious mind up by somehow distracting it, so that way your subconscious mind, which is the real learning system of the human mind, can actually absorb things and apply things that you've trained effortlessly. So if you ever notice, like if you've trained something, right, you've been practicing, and then you try to go and do it in a match, you can't fucking do it. You're like, damn, I can't do it. And then there's that one random day you don't even think about it, and then you're all of a sudden doing that shit. You're like, wait, what the fuck? I just did it. Huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's because you got out of your way. You unfucked yourself. Which is it's a thing that literally happens, physiologically speaking, in terms of your neurons and all this crazy shit. Like the electric systems that you're sending, you're firing and wiring in your brain, you're interrupting the shit you trained. When you were training stuff in training mode, you didn't have this pressure. So you have to recreate the pressure you're gonna feel in a tournament setting, or you have to eliminate the pressure you're gonna feel in a tournament setting, because there needs to be some sort of harmony between how you're training and where you go to perform. It has to be like as close to equal as possible. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So the Tom Brady's, the Michael Jordans, all these clutch motherfuckers in the heat of the moment, they have such intense focus that they don't see win-loss. They just see the moment and opportunity to perform that thing that they've practiced. That's it. There's no, oh, if I hit the shot, I'm gonna win the Super Bowl. They don't think like that. They just think one possession at a time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like
quarterbacks have to have short-term memory, because when they make mistakes, if they carry that on into the next play, they're gonna overthink, they're gonna hesitate. And in football, a microsecond of hesitation can make the difference between you getting the ball off and hitting a receiver on a route, and then they fucking blow by the defenders for 40 yards, or you getting sacked. You see it all the time. A QB goes to throw it, person catches it, and then the QB gets hit, but the ball's out of his hands, right? So imagine if he hesitated.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So
you just have to do that. That's it. You have to trust in your training. You're doing well, you're progressing. Why won't you progress in other areas? Like you already have the proof of your progress. You know what I'm saying? You just have to have faith. And faith is having vision in the dark. When there's unknowns, you have no idea. You want a path, but you don't know what the path is. You just want it to be a path of comfort, of a guarantee. But that's not how life works. You know? So that's you have true. We have to unfuck ourselves and get out of our own way. You have to trust yourself. Trust yourself. I promise you, like, I started doing that. I started to make crazy strides, man. Like, I'll still get salty, I'll still get angry, but my recovery is so fast now, because I know, oh yeah, I'm angry, that's good, because I'm using this shit to go and fucking study. I go study, I feel so good, and I don't even have to think about it. Next time I play that player, cooked them. It's happened 3-4 times in the past week.
Dang. Well, that's proof of work.
Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying?
Woo, in bracket. Okay.
In bracket, right? Okay. So you gotta trust yourself. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. You know what I'm saying? Because it feels like it's different, because you're ascending, getting stronger, and you're playing stronger people. But fundamentally, it's the same thing. you're doing it, you're reviewing it, you're redoing it. That's the principle of Kaizen. So it's cyclical. You know what I'm saying? It's really the same. It's just disguised as different experiences, but at the core, it's still you.
I get you.
Okay. Next one.
All right. Next one. So let's do 4 first, because that also seems a whole lot easier. And this one you could probably keep an eye out for when I'm playing. So I wrote, my jump and reads feel like shit. Whenever I want to be the one to say it's my turn to jump, I always end up crossing up and being the one who eats shit anyway. I thought there was cross-up protection.
So is this in the corner?
No, this is mid-screen. So
okay.
It'll be, all right, I'm going to read you doing a poke or a fireball mid-screen, and I'm going to jump at you.
Okay.
But the thing is, they end up doing a poke or a fireball, and I go over their head. And I'm just like, what? I thought I was supposed to land in front of them. I thought that's what the whole cross-up protection thing was about.
Oh yeah, no, this is a pretty easy fix. So, all right, so the thing about her jump is, right, her jump is very floaty, right? So go mid-screen. Yeah, so just jump. Okay, so her jump is like very floaty and it's pretty far. So when you have to factor in a couple of things, right? There's always these like little hidden elements that contribute to how a situation resolves, essentially. So let's say Ryu presses a button, right? Have Ryu set to do let's say stand heavy punch, right? Because usually you want to jump on buttons that are laggy.
This one will do. So just have him do like,
yeah, like that's fine, right? So now go and you can just play it, and then let's so you see this button, he moves forward with it. Okay, so you have to compensate for that in your calculations of your jump. So even though you're jumping in Footsie's range, which is what you want to do, right?
Yep.
The irony is because you're jumping, you're gonna have a floaty jump against a player that's moving forward, and it's gonna create some strange fuckery. All right. So because of that, it's not reliable. Not even because you have a floaty jump, but because he's moving forward in conjunction with your floaty jump, it's not gonna be as convincing at high level play. For you to be further away to where when you do jump you're in front of them, because you know what I'm saying, because you're not in range clearly, right?
Yeah.
So if you backed up, you're like, all right, my jump now won't cross up, but it'll be too obvious that you're not in range of the button.
Exactly.
Right. So you have to figure out, this is what's cool about the game, and I know it's different from 5 because 5 was kind of homogenized where a lot of the characters were like the same, but this is the uniqueness that's typically apparent in fighting games. You can't really apply the same tactics against every character. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool, but this is like where your studious nature styling can come in, where you figure out which characters have buttons that are really hard to deal with on the ground, but I can jump in on.
Okay.
All right, because you can again jump in on that button, but the thing is you're gonna want to be further away, and then a good player is gonna be like, well, you're clearly not in range, so I'm not gonna press this. I have to be in range, right? And then you can make mini games off of that. Like always ask why. Like I love the that Simon Sinek book. What is it? Start with why or something like that. Like why? Why? When it's negative is a word of intolerance, but in a positive manner, it gets you to the root of things, right? It peels back the layers of the onion, right? Step by step, and it requires conscientious effort. Human beings, we're naturally lazy, so we don't care to know why. We want to know how, right? I want to know how, Zaf. Tell me how I can get to fucking 2000 MR. No, how about why do you want to get to 2000 MR? And then you're like, see? So you probably didn't even think about it. Not saying you, I'm just speaking in general.
Yeah, just general. Yeah.
Right. But the why of things. So why would you want to do that? Why would you want to use that tactic? Why doesn't it work? Why is it working? You see what I'm saying? That word is a 3-letter word. It is so short, but it will bring you a long road of success. So yeah, so you want to start with why. That's gonna be your fishing rod. You know what I'm saying? For figuring out how to fish. Like why?
Yeah.
Always ask why. If you're confused, you're most likely asking how, like naturally, and then when you keep asking why, you will eventually find your answer. That's one of the reasons why I beat a certain player this week in bracket, because I was like, yo, why am I whiffing? I said, why am I whiffing? I have great spacing, but I don't know why I'm whiffing. There's a crazy contradiction going on there. That requires humility, right? So I said, why am I whiffing? Like, this is very strange. I go watch my replays. I find out this motherfucker is walking and blocking, and then walking back at the last second, so that way when I hit him with the button, I push him out of the range of my second button. And I was like, you motherfucker. Okay, I understand now. Play that player in bracket, beat him. Next day. The next day. All from that one adjustment. Why? You just got to keep asking why. See, the thing is, when people get comfortable, when you've reached a certain level of success, you don't care about why. You just want to know how. How can I get more money? How can I get more success? How can I win? How can I get more, fly honeys? Like, no, how about why? Let's question our intentions in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
It goes down back to that. Remember the demons of decision making video I made? It's like we're naturally binary thinkers. We're like this or that because it's the path of least resistance when it comes to our mental fulcrum of thinking. Like we rather things be simplified because complexity makes us just fucking hate life, right? So naturally, the how is it's very simple. It's just like, path of least resistance. You streamlining the process. It's very surface level. Why is just it's complex. It requires effort, maybe exerted effort, because it might be something you don't get right away, right? So there goes the fucking instant gratification monkey in your brain. Also hates that. The lazy part of our brain also hates that. It's just like, but I always ask why. You see, we had this one little conversation right here. Right, and we just reverse engineered. Well, why are you missing them? Well, let's look at the button. The button moves forward. So if they're moving forward and you're jumping forward, they're not at that original position you were aiming for. So you have to compensate. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, right. And I'm just thinking about like buttons I've tried that against, like Ken stand heavy kick, where he does a little spin and it moves him ever so slightly forward, and that's probably like why it works sometimes and why it doesn't work others.
Right. Exactly. So it's funny because imagine you weren't aware of that. Imagine how much other things you're not aware of that contribute to your own demise, like we talked about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's a small thing. So imagine how many other things are happening. Right. Which is why you have me, your guardian angel.
True. Absolute facts being spit right now.
So, all right, do you have one more question, or was that all four?
That's not all four. But this one was from the one from Combo Breaker, where you asked me to find like my thing, like my trait, that thing that I'm good at that gets me going. Yep. But I thought it was anti-airs, but not really. So I think we can save that one for the end. Okay. When we have a little bit more data based on like what we've done so far and what I've played, so maybe we can get a little bit of traction on that one.
Okay. Yeah. I have an idea of what it is, but I'm not going to say it until the end. I want to confirm it.
Okay. All right. And now I think we have no other choice but to get to it. Okay, this is perfect. So this is a matchup where I can and will get overwhelmed depending on how the player plays. All right, so let's see what Cam is going to do here. Oh, wow. I'm going to see what you do. Okay, I didn't jail hard enough. I got lucky there. Okay, that's fine. All right.
Nice. Put anti-air. Keep him boxed in.
Okay, so he's gonna do that now. Oop. All right. Didn't guard my toes. It's okay. Okay, he's gonna. Wow. Get my drive gauge back. Now he's got to come to me. I didn't believe. That's the problem.
You gotta believe.
Good.
You gotta believe. Oh, nice punish.
I did not buffer. Oop. That's fine. Why didn't I get counter? That's fine.
Nice. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, okay.
Doing okay here. This person's playing pretty slow, so I can manage.
Yeah, they're playing at the pace you usually like to play at.
Correct. Ooh, that was a misinput. I got very lucky there for that hit. Okay, so you're not going to do that. You've seen... Oh, I didn't block my toes. That was my fault entirely. Okay. Okay, I want to jump. There we go.
I think you could have killed.
You know what? You're right. Not be through me. It's fine. Okay. Spin. Spin knuckle, sir. Uh-oh. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Oh, nuts. That's fine. Okay. There we go.
Nice. Nice. Good job.
Thank you. Good, sir. All right. That's probably going to be scaled, but...
Okay, perfect. I'm glad you ended this because I've been so antsy to tell you what I wanted to tell you. Go to training mode. I have the solution. You are the type of person where you love information. You love information. You deal with it really well. You manage it really well. You structure it well. Like, and I think that's your strength. But the problem is you don't know what to do with the information. Because you know what's mad funny? That Cammy jumped at you and did dive kick, and I know you know she was gonna do it, right? But the problem is in your brain, when you do things unconsciously, you don't go into a situation with like conviction. You did a fireball and she jumped over it and you fucking did the fucking anti-air. Right? Like with no hesitation.
Right.
Like you had literally no hesitation in doing that. So the reason is because you set it up. You went into the situation like, oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to, you know, and I'm going to look for this, but you don't do that anywhere else. That's your problem. Or challenge, it's not a problem because it's easily fixable.
Oh.
So it's literally a mindset thing. Like you're not playing into your fundamental personality, right? Which is like playing to create, to structure, to give you feedback. You're not playing like that all the time. You're playing that like that in increments. So when you walked back, you didn't walk back with intent. You walked back because you were trying to cover everything all at once. You didn't walk back with the intent of I'm gonna walk back and see what you do. Oh, my walk back think of it like coding, bro. This equals this. So every time you walk back, now you know they jump dive kick. Okay, I'm gonna walk back. You're going to dive kick. I'm going to anti-air it. But you have to see yourself anti-airing. That's the problem you're not doing. You're not seeing the end of the coding sequence. You're just like, well, I have the start of the coding sequence, but then you don't know what it equates to at the end of it, because you're not being deliberate about it. If you were deliberate, like you were with the fireball, when you did fireball, she jumped, you DP'd it. It was like, okay, why can you do that? But you didn't do that anywhere else. With your footsies, you didn't do that with your anti-airs, you didn't do that anything else. So that plays into the second thing. So in order to, because you're like a machine with gathering information, right? You have to free up mental resources so that way you can focus on the shit like that. Because what happens is, for example, you remember the first thing you said to me at the start of the set? Oh, I didn't jail, right? Right, remember you said that? Oh, I didn't jail, and then she like mashed or something like that, and she hit you.
Right.
And then what happened? The next situation, you know what you did? You did stand medium punch, and then you staggered. Why would you stagger if you just said that? You literally said it out loud. You said it to me. It's on the stream. You said I didn't jail, and then the next situation, you intentionally don't jail and try to stagger. That makes no sense. But you see what I'm saying? So you're literally like autopiloting. Like you're just doing things. You're just freestyling things. And it makes sense because I bet you that's the way you train. You probably just train random things, right? So this is what you're gonna start doing from now on. It's called sequencing. What you're gonna do is this is probably gonna help you with your Oki too and everything. You're gonna have a movie, a clip, a reel of interactions back to back to back, right? No editing. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a combo. It's gonna lead to this, and then after this you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna do this after that. Three different situations back to back to back. You're gonna do that. You're gonna back to back to back do these things. Okay?
Right.
You need to practice like that because it'll allow you to focus on the things that actually matter. Because that's the shit that these fucking baboons in ranked do all day, is they do combo into knockdown into stuff, and then they just keep flowcharting that, and then they have insane pace compared to you because everything is stringed along like perfectly. They might be bad at making decisions or have that poor spacing, but when they get the knockdown, everything just flows. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you have to be able to sequence, and it helps you free up mental resources to shit that actually matters.
So I need, in essence, an actual flow chart.
Yes.
You know, like, so basically, so remember when I said yesterday, I can't stop, what did I say? It's something about like, I can't stop everything that's on screen.
Yep.
And I don't know if they're going to do that thing again. Like,
Yep.
I didn't know if that Cammy was gonna mash again, because they saw that although I got hit, they got hit too. So I don't know how they're gonna react. So I have like information that's basically still processing.
Hey,
And I don't have like a flowchart for
Right.
that.
So imagine, but because you're thinking so much about your confirms, anti-airing, and all this stuff, like when you get that information, you never get to process it. You're basically right now stuck in the phase of learning a character. So you haven't really got the chance to graduate. You know what I'm saying? Because you still haven't pieced together this fundamentally important part of playing fighting games, which is sequencing. Because you look disjointed. There's no like continuity amongst your decisions in your play. If everything feels like a completely different universe, there's no synergy. That's what practicing sequencing will do for you. There's no hesitation. You've already decided what you're gonna do, you know. And then when you've practiced that, so let's say for example you had Ryu. If you knew Ryu, okay, this is the perfect question. If you knew Ryu was not going to block on the next 3 wake ups, what would you do? If you can't tell me that like immediately, then that's the gap I'm talking about. Me, if I'm playing a clue, I already know what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? You have to think like that. If I know he's gonna tech 3 times and every wake, this is what I'm gonna do. If I know he's gonna jump back on, this is what I'm gonna do. If I know he's gonna drive reversal 3 times, this is what I'm gonna do. And then guess what? Now you got those down, right? So now the next step is, if I know he's gonna tech, and then he's going to DP, and then he's going to mash jab, this is what I'm gonna do. You see what I'm saying? And then you start practicing those things. You start practicing those things. You know what I'm saying? And you go back and you just keep practicing them over and over and over again. And you can set the dummy up to do specific things in certain ways, you know? And then it's like, and then you start to mix up the options, and then it's like, boom. You start adapting and you start to gain flexibility. Because you're too rigid right now to be flexible.
Got it.
Well, actually, you're too flexible with no structure. That's the problem. So like, your flexibility is not like powerful. It's just unconcentrated. It's like lackadaisical.
So I have room to move, but I don't have room to actually. So it's like I can move around based on my opponent, but I can't actually capitalize, which makes sense.
Yeah. Everything is like a surprise to you, right?
Yeah.
Every time I watch you, it's like a surprise it worked. Even your forward medium punch, you were like, oh, I didn't see, and then you're like, oh, I didn't, and you keep talking about like the past. You very rarely are thinking forward, speaking forward, and you're not playing forward either. So it makes sense. You keep playing like you're thinking about what happened 3 seconds ago.
Got it. That would make, because basically that phrase that actually describes a situation where I have information, but I don't know if they're going to act the way they did again.
Right.
Okay. Responses.
And the only way to find out is by actively pursuing that, discovery, right? But you're not discovering, you're trying to cling on to like something that's happened, and you're like, but I don't know. But no, you already got the information. Just play off of it. Because remember, you can still commit, but still be flexible enough to be wrong and adjust again. Like, you don't have to fall in love with your reads.
Got it. Okay. So, I guess for staying in the past, what was it? So for staying in the past, what is that? What would we equate that to? Because I know you, like, we said it, but I'm also processing this, and I'm trying to like also now spit that out into a document so I have it on tap. So staying in the past, am I uncomfortable with the situation, or no? It's
Well, it depends, because I don't know exactly how you feel. I'm just going off of the surface level of how I'm interpreting your behavior and seeing the patterns and the themes. And then there's the synergy within those. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm seeing this. This seems like it's a common thing, right? It's like these opportunities keep presenting themselves. And even though you're correct, it's like you're never ready to take advantage of them. That means you're not focused. So, and then I know you're not. Every time you talk, even when you were speaking, you were talking about shit that happened before. I didn't hear you say, well, I'm going to do this, and I think he's going to do this. I think he's going to do this. It was always, oh, he did this. He did this. He did this. He did this. It was never, I'm going to do this. He's going to do this. See, like that time sensitivity. Your words are a reflection of your belief system, right? They give you subtle clues into the things that the way your mind behaves, the way it operates. So I listen to your words, and it sounds like you are in the past, right? And you're trying to cling on to something that will give you confirmation, that will make it so you get certainty. But nothing is certain. The only thing that's certain is your efforts in the now. We don't know what happens. The past is nothing you can do about it, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
Right? So you can only really control what you can control, ideally. So have you ever practiced like that, where you do these things back to back, like in one steady flow?
Funny enough, I think that's where I left off during Street Fighter V, like at the very end of Street Fighter V, when things were coming together, like that period of time, like right before the last combo breaker for Street Fighter V. That was where I was actually working on that, where I had a sequence of events like, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to be behaving like this, I'm going to start doing these things. But with Street Fighter 6, with how, I guess, to actually use your word, less homogenized things are, it's become harder to do that, and I seem to get more currently from, not like more, but I've found myself more like a defensive pattern and struggling to do offense.
Yeah, but offense is the same, but it doesn't matter who you're going against. What's not as homogenized is like the tool sets of characters, and you know what I'm saying, like the uniqueness of stuff like that. That's different, but offense is still offense. If I'm +5 and I press this button and you press a 4-frame and I counter hit you, I'm counter hitting every character as long as I'm in range of my button, right? Like there's just fundamental things that will apply regardless of the matchup. The stuff I'm telling you is not matchup specific. It's just like a Stalin, I play Chun, this is my shit, and you run it, and then the only thing you worry about is adapting specifically to that character and that player, which, number one, you should already have a mindset about the character at the character select screen. If I see I'm playing Chun-Li and I'm playing Dalsum, I already know what I'm gonna do. I already have a strategy. The player I am going to learn in real time, though. You don't want to learn Chun-Li in real time, because that's, now I'm wasting mental energy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have a focus, now you have to remind yourself of stuff. You have to remember what's not as important. You might treat her like another matchup. You might treat Chun like Cammy, right? It's like you can't do that.
Right. I think, yeah, go on.
No, I was gonna say, it's like it's not as complicated as we make it to be honest. It's very simple. It's just sometimes human beings, we like to overcomplicate shit, and you strive to be something, you chase some image of yourself as, in order for me to be a great player I shouldn't have to do XYZ ABC 1 2 3. But no, you're human. You have to negotiate with yourself. You have to remind yourself of how to play matchups. You have to have a direction. You have to get rid of the distractions. You have to know what part you play in your demise, right? And you have to manage those things in real time. That's how you become consistent as a player.
Gotcha. I think I'm seeing it. Basically, I think what's happening now is, funny enough, I think I'm genuinely picking up from where I left off in 5 from 6. So I have an idea of like what my sequence is if things are going right. And so one of the things that I wanted to say yesterday, but I never got a chance to, was if the opponent has something that I can anchor myself to, like a decision that I see that they make, and I punish it like the first time, that usually means I've found an anchor, like a truth for that person, and I just generally don't have the problems I normally talk about. Like if I have an anchor on how that person's going to behave, like that Cammy was showing off a lot of spin knuckle, even though I wasn't like, although we diagnosed the problem from that set, I was like, oh, this guy is going to be looking for a fireball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be at a safe distance and whiff buttons. And depending on the distance, I'm going to change the button I use. And if the guy eventually realizes I'm looking for spin knuckle, I'll take note of that in his behavior. Like he started moving back, and I was like, oh, I can start moving forward, taking space and executing. So if I have an anchor onto how they're behaving, I can pick up from there. But if I don't have an anchor and I'm constantly searching for something, or there's like, are they going to do that again on wake up? Are they going to block? Was that just a fluke? Are they going to jump again? Are they going to jump again?
Yeah, but
again?
just because you ask a question doesn't mean you don't have to act. You can actively ask questions while you're active. So yeah, you don't know. Okay, cool. That great. Congratulations. Go in and fucking find out. You know what I'm saying? Like, go in and pressure him again, and then if you're wrong, who cares? You get information. You're not going to die off of that one mistake. It's not even a mistake. It's just an exchange of information.
I can see that. So I'm just trying to think right now. For the next game, I'm going to try to have some kind of basic structure. Like, I'm going to rewind back to a little bit back to suboptimal B&Bs. If I think that they're pressing, I'm going to, when I get a knockdown and I think that they're going to press, I'm going to do stand medium punch, stand light punch, stand light kick, and that should all jail. And when they block all three, that'll be my signal that things have changed.
But you see, this is the thing I'm talking about, though. You see, you're talking about it, but you're not practicing it. You understand? Like, you're reverting back to what we said was the challenge. Is you're not sequencing this. You're just thinking of it individually, unique, as each is a different moving part when they're supposed to come together. You need to practice this in a training mode, and then practice the next situation immediately and do it back to back to back. That's how you have to train. Like, if you ever watched like top players, sometimes when they're practicing a brand new character, a bread and butter, and then they're also simultaneously practicing the Oki from that bread and butter, and then they're also practicing the follow-up pressure from that Oki, from that bread and butter. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to practice all of them together, because neurons that fire together wire together. So when you put these things together, your brain's gonna automatically think of those sequences as one, because the way you're doing it right now is too slow. It's not practical to go in a match and try to use the match as training mode for this. You have to go use training mode for training mode and then go into the match. If you haven't even done this in training mode, you have no business doing this in ranked. This is how you become efficient with your time, because I know you're a busy dude, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you can get so much more done in a concentrated 15 minutes than if you were to just go into ranked for an hour and try to do this one thing, and it's sporadic and it's not consistently practiced. You know what I'm saying? You should be, when you want to practice something specific, you should practice the situations that help create that situation alongside it. So that way, when it happens in a match, it's not, oh, what was I supposed to do here? Missed my chance. So that's your cue, Stalin, to practice it right now in front of the stream. There you go.
Let's see. This is a good one.
You can do Ryu. It's fine. Any character doesn't really matter. But you see, like, so when you said that thing about the back roll, that's an extension from this challenge you're having, is because when you haven't practiced it, so when somebody back rolls, you don't have the appropriate situations created to cover it. So for example, combos that end in spinning bird kick, if Chun-Li, I think if she double dashes, she's in range no matter what, right? So that's ideally is that right?
She is, but she's minus, because hold on, let me just,
what is it?
-6.
Well, it's not -6, because you see those gaps, those black squares, that means you didn't do it as fast as possible. So it's actually -4.
Oh,
yeah. So but I know Oki's something that you definitely have not become proficient at. So this is how you're gonna do this. So you need to practice your Oki, your sequencing. This is one of the reasons why you are an up and down player, because you're the biggest part of the game. You're not even playing it. Like, you're hitting people and it's not doing anything, and you're just freestyling everything. No, you need a sequence. This is what you are going to have to dig down and stick to. When you do this for 100 games, you're going to be a completely different player at the other end of it. 100%. So
okay,
what I want you to do is, okay, let's say have Ryu set to do crouching medium kick, right? Like on block. Like have him do it on block. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna walk up and hit him with crouch and light kick at like a max range. Crouch light kick. So yeah, that works. What? Do crouch though. Let me see crouch. No, go up and hit him like max range. Okay, so what I want you to do is to stand light kick him. Okay, you're gonna stand light kick him, and you're going to do it and walk back and try to be out of the range of it. Okay, so this is the building blocks of how we're gonna practice this. So you're gonna walk up, you're gonna stand light kick him. Okay, but I want you to walk back while you're doing it.
Got it. So kind of like,
yep, and get used to this. See, so this is the sequencing, because now this right here is a 2-part sequence. It's you spacing, but then you also walking. Okay, so yes, so yeah, you could hit it at max range and stand still, but no, I want you to walk back.
I don't think I can walk back.
Wait,
actually. Okay, I have to like be extremely like pixel perfect. Oh, yeah.
You keep walking back before you press it. See, this is the thing that you're probably doing with
oh, there we go.
Down kicks too, is you're pressing, you're doing the input before you even press the button. So okay, so now do that and then walk back. Boom. Okay, now just keep doing it. Yeah, okay. No, so what I want you to do is, instead of doing low forward, you're going to do forward medium punch, because low forward scales more, so I don't want you to do low forward. Okay, so yeah, you keep practicing it. So now this is the third part. This is the third block, right? You hit the button, you walk back, that's the second part, and then the whiff punish is going to be the third part. Okay, okay, this is fine. Yes. Okay, and then now you have this Oki. All right, so what you do in this situation is you're plus 15. So obviously if you dash again, you're gonna be -1, right?
Yep.
You have a 16.
No.
Is it,
19.
oh, it's a 19. Okay. Oh, then what the fuck was that? What was that move that was 16 frames?
Probably.
Was it SBK? Okay, I don't know. I have no idea. Whatever.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
Maybe medium? Was it medium? What's medium? Maybe it was medium. Do medium SBK.
Oh.
Ah, yes, medium.
Oh,
okay.
start up at 16. Yeah.
Yeah. So that situation, when you're plus 15, right? That means you drive rush and you can do a up to a, what is it? So it's 11 is when it's cancelable. So then you would still be +4. So a jab would be a true block string, and then a 8. So you'd be able to do up to like a drive rush into like a fucking 7-frame button, and you would frame trap his 4-frame retaliation.
So basically, I could do dash and then
Yes.
drive rush, stand medium punch.
Yes. So that would be like your Oki.
Okay. Actually, that's an extremely good question. So, what is? Let me write this down. So, what is? And I asked you this in chat, and I think I got it, but if I'm asking you now, I don't got it. When they do a back recovery, I do dash, and now this is what I'm talking. This is like what I think I'm partially missing. In terms of like sequencing, I don't have information about like you saying you can just drive rush button. I'm like, oh, wait, where'd that come from? How do you do that? Why is that allowed?
Okay, it's the numbers. So you're plus 15. So drive rush at its fastest from a parry will be 11 frames. And then the fastest button in the game is how many frames? 4, right? So a 15 frame sequence is the fastest you can go from a drive rush into a button. All right. So if you ever want to figure out the value, you just take 11, which is when you can cancel the drive rush, right? It's 3 frames from parry, 8 frames from the drive rush, which is 11. So we just say 11, and then plus the startup of your button. So you have a 7 frame button, that would be 18 frames. See? So if you did drive rush into an 8 frame button, you would be able to beat a 4 frame retaliation. But if you did a 9 frame button, you would trade. Because 19 minus 15 is 5. All right, 19 minus 15 is 4, right? So that 4 frame difference would give you the trade on the 4 frame button. You see what I'm saying? So when you drive rush, it works there because of that. And even if they quick rise or back rise, the recovery is the same. It's not like Street Fighter 5. There's no difference in values. The only difference is distance. So it's even easier to come up with Oki in this game because you don't have to fucking think about, well, they're plus 5 on back roll, so I have to find something that covers both. No, the only thing you need to do to cover both is make sure you're moving while you're doing it, so that way you're in range of both.
Okay. I'm just trying to write this down. So like do drive rush button, the math is 11 from the cancel of the drive rush plus the start of the button.
Yep.
So the result of that equation is what will be see, I guess this is also like the next step of where I'm blanking out. So if I do, let's say 11 plus stand medium punch is 5, that's 16. I have 15 frames to work with. So why does the stand medium punch beat whatever's going to be coming out?
Because they can't press anything until your 15 frames are up. So their Oki starts on the 16th frame. And the 4 frames is the fastest button. 16, 17, 18, 19. They won't be able to hit you until 19 frames later.
Oh, okay. 16, 17, 18. Okay, so I think. All right, so now that I've got that written down, but I'm still definitely shaky on that. So let's do a sequence. So I want to do that. See, so I did drive rush, I didn't press anything. So keys plus 14. So I'm just trying to like figure out what's going on. Should I just blindly press the button just to like see the plus frames in action, or?
Of course. Why would you not do that?
Okay, so let me just do that again.
Remember, we're trying to recreate what we would do in a match, right?
Yep. Right.
Nice.
Okay, because he's
yeah, so you'd have to like
block.
So what you could do is make him block it twice.
That makes sense.
That way on the next wake up he doesn't do it right away.
Yep. Like, go. There's a quality of life thing I want them to do. It's like, don't use the most common button don't put the button for clearing it next to the button that closes the menu. All right, so trying this again.
Now we have to hit it twice. Yep. There you go.
Oh yeah. Okay, and that leaves me plus 3.
Yep.
And so he basically cannot press the 4 frame, and depending on the button. Okay, so like depending on what I press after the crouch jab, there's even more he can't press.
Right.
Stand Extend light punch is probably the better button, I think. Let me try that.
What is it on block?
3.
And what's cross jab? Also, cross jab is better.
Yeah, cross jab is better. And I think this is another thing that's like bothering me, and I vented about this in Salt before. Like the frame data doesn't feel like I'm still mentally used to how the frame data in 5 works.
That's your problem. You have to adapt.
Yeah, I have a sense of how it works now in 6, now that everything's minus, but everything is minus. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't get it mathematically. It's because all I'm seeing is everybody's negative, so how can anyone be positive?
Drive rush.
And that's how it is. So, like, you only get to be positive if you use drive rush.
No, that's not true. But that's the main way you can do it. The other way is if you hit meaty. Like, you hit on the later active frames, right? Yeah. But in terms of, like, neutral, there's going to be drive rush has to be involved, or they have to be in burnout.
Okay.
So those are your main 2 ways. And then, like, if you want to obviously, like, somebody's mashing, then you want to string them up, right? So you'd want to use like light chains to beat that, or a plus on block button into a light.
Right. So we get that.
Exactly.
So I probably have to do.
Yep. See, and then you get 4 medium punch, right?
Yep. Actually, funny enough, if I do, well, I probably shouldn't do that, but technically that works. That would have to be frame perfect.
So you need to practice this, and so, like, let's say, like, the next level would be, right, what I'd want you to do is, like, let's say you practice this 10 times in a row, right? The same sequence. You do the same thing, and then you do the drive rush into the stand strong, and then you did jab, and then you fucking counter hit them, and then you got the low forward into legs, and then you do the same thing. You'd add what's the next sequence after that, you see, and then you go all the way back to the beginning and practice each one back to back to back. Keep practicing it back to back to back, and you're not gonna get it right away sometimes, but it'll start to make sense. And you take breaks, you come back, and then all of a sudden you start to do it more and more, like, it'll be more and more seamless.
Okay. So I'm just thinking about, like, what I've actually been doing. Do you remember we had goals, objectives, strategy, and tactics?
Yep.
I think I'm only at the strategy level, where I'll see something, but I'll fixate on it. But if the strategy works out in my favor, like, oh, they're doing this, so I will plug in and I will see this. I'll see the strategy works, and I'll have more confidence, and that's how I keep winning some of these games. But I don't have, like, a flow chart of.
The flowchart is actually the flowchart is actually more macro than it is micro. You're actually more focused on the micro, in my opinion, because it's the moments that you cling on to, and then you get, like, hyper fixated. It's not like the overall, like, flow of a match. It's like moments that are capturing your attention, and then you're getting mentally jammed up on, and then you're missing the forest for the trees, right? So that's why I think you're more focused on the micro than the macro, and the sequencing will help you strengthen your macro overall, because as soon as you get a touch, the flow will come out. You don't even have to think about that shit anymore.
Okay. It's funny that you said micro and macro, because that actually works to RTS too, because funny enough, my macro is really good and my micro is okay. So it's like reversed when I'm actually playing an RTS game.
So yeah, this is what you want to practice. So then another example is you figure out the Oki values from your anti-airs, and you apply the same thing. So then you'll have a situation where, let's say on block you make him do the medium kick, but then on wake up he does jump forward, and then now you have, oh, okay, I'm gonna practice this back to back. I'm gonna practice this whiff punish into a dash sequence into an anti-air.
And actually,
right? Because you're gonna pretend you're gonna shimmy him, so you can make him, you know, do two different things. Make him do wake up throw, and then make him do wake up jump forward, and then now you're practicing reacting to both of them. So what you could do is instead of doing the sequence, you practice within a sequence itself, like an aspect of it. So let's say you have him on wake up, he's doing jump forward and he's doing wake up throw, right? Have him set to do both. You practice reacting to both of those on a wake up. Okay, you're doing the wrong one. You're on the block, right?
Oh wait, yeah. Right, yeah, you're right. Excuse me.
So yeah, the first one for throw, boom. Well,
yeah, that was like set to 6 frames delay. Sorry.
It's okay.
There we go. And then
you know how to change it, right? You could just hit X and you'll change the delay.
Oh right, yeah.
So yeah, put jump instead of forward dash. Yep.
Yeah. Forward
okay.
Jump, yeah.
And then so let's say you just like knock him down, right? And whatever you practice, like you're gonna shimmy him, and then but when he throws, you punish, and when he jumps, you air throw him.
Okay, so kind of like.
No, you're gonna shimmy him. You're gonna walk in, walk out.
All right.
Yeah, and then you're gonna practice punishing that.
Okay, and that's what you mean by practicing. Oh,
this is what's happening in the game. Is like you don't have the like the structure, the flow to cover bases. You know what I'm saying? Because you're so stuck on one thing. So when you're given and presented multiple opportunities, you like mentally you're overloaded. You're like So you practice that. So practice this. Okay. And then you shimmy this, but then if you see you don't press unless you see throw.
All right. Yep. Okay. So we're just
yes.
Okay.
Like let him do it. And then see, but you have to throw him when he jumps. See, yes.
So just kind of like visually confirm.
Yes.
For that.
Yeah, but right now we're talking. I don't want you to go ADHD mode. I need you to focus and do those two things.
Got it.
You need to be disciplined. Yes, there you go. Boom. See? So you practice that. So obviously you could do like the stand median kick, should be more stable, right? But just because I want to make this difficult on purpose, you will go back and forth between those two options.
Got it.
Okay. No.
There we go.
No.
There we go.
Nice.
There you go.
No stand medium kick. Nice. That's good. As long as you try, that's all that matters. I don't care if you don't get it. You just have to commit to it. You have to get over the no more stand medium kick. Don't do that. Only air throw.
There we go.
You see what you just did there? That's the thing I'm talking about. You thought about the previous moment instead of staying in the moment. You see, that's why you did the stand fierce, because you're like, oh, he's gonna throw. No, you don't know what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like this is gonna help you train that out of your system. And it's such a simple exercise. Once you do this 10 times in a row, you do it on the other side.
Got it.
And if you fuck it up, you have to start all over again. So this is how you're gonna practice that. So then when you get this down, right? Let's say you do 10 times in a row both sides. Now go make a sequence out of it. So then you go and do the whiff punish that we just talked about on block into the SBK, dash up, right, and then or whatever, and then go, all right, I'm gonna shimmy, and then practice that, and then you do that to every situation, and then guess what? You now know how you have mastered your character.
Okay.
I'd rather you press the button than not press the button.
Okay.
Because we want you to train out the hesitation. Like, anyway, so yeah, so this is what you basically gotta practice, and then you take this into a match, and then so what you could do to kind of bridge the, you know, the gap, I guess you could say, is do it on a CPU.
Okay.
Because the computer is gonna be like the closest to that fucking chaotic nature of a real match, because like the computer just doesn't give a shit. So you can literally like just practice this against CPU, and it's in it's no pressure situation, because you're not gonna die, you're not gonna lose points or anything like that, but you're literally gonna just practice like punishing what they're doing, and then practicing that over and over and over again. You know, and it doesn't have to be like high level CPU. It could just be like 2, 3, whatever, and just keep it simple. And it's just like, because you just want the randomness, so that way you are forced to react, because you're not trying to react because you don't want to commit. So you have to train that out of your system.
Okay.
You know,
Less anticipation, more reaction.
yeah, basically.
That also kind of explains like why once I have an anchor, I can just keep I can just roll through, and is why I've probably done as well as I have so far. Like if I have an anchor onto a certain point in their behavior, I can anticipate what's coming down the pike versus actually reacting to, you know, like whatever chaos is on screen. Because like, sorry, I'm just trying to, I just want to finish this one. It was like dealing with everyone climbing up to master, you can do with anticipation. Like if you get a read on what someone is doing, and even then it won't be perfect, I can anticipate how a player of a certain rank is going to behave. But then in master, where just kind of like you can't tell if someone at 1300 is going to play seriously, or someone at 1300 is going to be like that jury replay from yesterday. I can't make assumptions anymore. I don't have an anchor unless it's blatantly apparent.
Right. Makes sense. That makes total sense.
All right, so this is a lot, because thinking about it, this is like
it's pretty dense. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
it's
like,
pretty dense.
It's basically like I got told you didn't learn your character yet, and it's just like, then what the hell was all that for the past 3 years?
Yeah, essentially. So now it's like, now when you go and get results you don't want, can't really be frustrated, because you're like, well, I know I have so much work to do now. And at least it's like, it's kind of humanized, because then it's like, oh, it's not because I'm ass, it's just because I don't know. That's literally all it is.
Got it. All right,
Stalin, so let's wrap this up, and so you tell me how you feeling, and tell me, you know, what's on your mind, and then tell me your 3 favorite things, and we can conclude.
I guess if I had to say how I'm feeling, there's, I guess, that feeling of I'm being told I'm good, but then I'm not doing, I don't know, like, quote, my character's basics. It's just like conflicting information. And it's just like, you know how I said, it's like, what was the past 3 years for? And it's just like, again, like, I don't know. I was like, what the hell was I doing for the past 3 years, 4 years? I guess, well, we came up with something I could work with and get me past the hump, but it's also kind of like, well, shit, what was the point of Street Fighter 5?
Well, I mean, Street Fighter 5 exposed you to elements that still exist in this game. It's just you know, it's an adjustment, but it doesn't mean that what you've learned is not valuable. It's better that you played the game than not played the game.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess like 3 things I liked. One, we got a bunch of questions answered. I got answers.
I got answers.
I think I got good answers. I didn't just get answers, I got good answers. So I got sequencing. Need to have an actual flow chart. I barely started that in 5, so now I need an actual flow chart for 6. I think I finally get back Raizoki using dry brush. I think I get that now that you've shown me what the equation is like. I guess we found out what I'm good at, and in turn, what that thing that I'm good at has left me not exposed to. So, you know, where it's just like I'm very flexible and I'm okay when my opponent decides to make a change. I can adapt.
Yep.
But I have a weakness. I don't have any power behind that flexibility.
Right.
So we found like a fault in the armor. So that was, I think altogether that's 3 good things.
Beautiful. So now you got to do this for 100 games. I want you to practice 100 games of playing like this.
100, 3 digits. So not only practice the sequencing, then go with the sequencing 100 games with the sequencing.
Yep. Nothing else. I don't care about anything else.
Okay. So for the 100 games, should that be like any particular one or just like lobbies and ranked and whatever?
It doesn't really matter. You can do lobbies, you can do ranked, you can do casuals, battle hub. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
As long as it's 100 games with like people.
Yeah, basically I'm just thinking about like the difference between, you know how like I said, the difference between losing to good players versus losing to ranked players. So that, like, not to like qualify good or bad, but just like a way to differentiate them. So I was wondering if that would have any impact on it.
Oh, no.
Okay,
You'll be fine.
Just fucking do it.
You'll be 100% fine.
Perfect. All right. I would like to see if we have time. And I know you said wrap it up, and the what's its face? So yeah, wrap it up. The wrap it up noise from the Chappelle skit. Just like you got that.
When he's on the side of the bed.
Come on, Stalin, wrap it up. But so for that question, for my unique gameplay trait, do you think it's flexibility? Was that it?
No, it was like, what was it? It was something to do with information. That's what it was.
Working with information?
It was,
I guess,
something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what I said verbatim.
Okay.
So I'm gonna paraphrase it. But basically, it's like a willingness, I guess, to understand the opponent, I guess, right? Like, but the issue is what was kind of contradicting that was you weren't willing to engage with your opponent because you were just kind of like, well, I know this thing about them, but I'm not sure, you know. And then it caused you to just kind of not play at all, right? You were just like, I don't know, and you're just like hesitating, you know. So that's what I meant by that.
Okay.
But it'll be more concrete over time. That's just like the direction. As I know we're gonna at least figure out, you know what I'm saying, more about what your strength is in particular. But it'll reveal itself, I think, through doing this, because now you'll be more natural and you won't be so like mentally overloaded, because the game will just flow a lot easier for you.
Got it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Word.
All right, and I think we can sign off because I have work to do.
All right, Broham. Thank you, Stalin, as always. I appreciate you.